So this is actually my second video of the pong game, and here we are making the ball physics work. So basically what's gonna happen is, let me open my Scalidra. So basically what's gonna happen is we have a rectangle, so this is our window, right? And we have a object, or we have a circle shape right here. So we'll give it a max speed. So the max speed would go something like 150 pixels, right? Like something like that. So when we hit this, right? When we hit the top border, our Y would be what? The screen height, right? The screen height. Our Y would be that. And if we just made the Y negative, or we can say our velocity is going up, right? So what if we just made it negative? So it will just go down. It will start going down, right? Because our position is keeping on going down, and that is the logic I am going to do. So first I'm gonna create a float delta that would be equal to clock dot restart as seconds. So then we're gonna say, actually let's set our position, shall we, or do we wanna set up the border? So actually before that we're gonna set a constant let's see, max speed is equal to 150.0f, and I forgot to mention the type, so it's gonna be a float, and just like that. So let's right now keep it at 1, and every time actually let me just do that. Not here, it's outside of the event loop, it's inside of the while loop, of course it's between. So let me just improvise here, right? So if our game ball dot get position dot x is less than 0.0 f. So what does that mean? So this is the x coordinate, right? This is the x coordinate. This is let me just clear this thing out. So we have our x coordinate here, so we would draw a line. This is our x coordinate. So what happens is, if this, I'm not talking about that side, I'm talking about this side. So if this, like this is the 0 for the x, right? Because SFML works like this, 0 0 from the top. So we'll move down to the y-axis, but anything beyond this is minus, it's negative. So if it is negative, we want the velocity to change, right? We want it to be negative as well, because it's going on this side. And I capitalized velocity, so I have to capitalize velocity here again, and it's, of course, it's x, right? And it should be for 2, because the y is also the same. Now this one is a bit tough, because it will get over 800, but how will you set the position? It will just go vroom out of there, right? So if game ball dot get position dot x is greater than 800.0f, then we want to do something. Is it 800? Oh no, it's 500. So it's 500, making it the same absolutely helps a lot. So yeah, so then what we're gonna do is, we are gonna, for now, yes, it is obvious that we will change it to this and that, like just change the negative to positive and the positive to negative. So let me just write the code and then show it to you directly, because that'll help more. So now back into the topic. So we were here, right? So let me just remove these two. Okay, so we were here. So if anything like that happens, we would change the velocity to its negative counterpart. So then what are we going to do? Because we don't want it to flew off the thing, right? So we're gonna say game ball. So we're gonna want the position to be, in this case, 0 0. So how do we do that? So we are gonna say just like that. We set the position to 0.0f for the x-axis. And what about the y-axis? We're gonna get the game ball dot get position dot y. So we would get the y-axis, right? And this is the same logic in here. Dot x and 0.0f. So for the next two, I'm gonna keep them empty for now. Yes, I am gonna keep them empty for now. And what I'm gonna do is use the move method. Like, it's probably, what was it? I do not remember actually. So we're gonna say game ball dot move, and it's gonna take ourselves our velocity. So it's gonna move at our velocity at a permanent speed. We won't slow it down, we won't increase it. Yep, we will. For now, we definitely will increase it. So most of the I'm actually gonna set that to negative right now, and I don't want to set it y right now. So let's do something like minus. So if I do it now, so it should go in the back, and then it should pop right back up. If not, there, yep, it works perfectly. So now what we want to do is find out the position here, right? So actually, let me just demonstrate it here. So game ball dot set position, it would be what would you say should be the answer, right? So it cannot be more than, in this case, 500, right? So we have to set it lower than 500. So 500 minus, it's already x position, the x position that is already. So we're gonna just put 500.0f minus our already position, that should be this, and of course our game ball dot get position, what the get position, dot y. Yep, formatting. Yep. So this should just change that. If we go there, it should come right here. So let's see if this thing works or not. If it does, yep, we will be happy. So let's try it out, and it does not work. So let me just see, what have I done wrong. Should it contain the width? Because I haven't calculated anything with the width, so I'll just let me think about it for a bit, then I'll get back to you guys. So I've made a couple of mistakes here. So the first one I noticed is, let me just demonstrate. So the thing is, when the shape is going out of the window, its position is actually this one. So it will go until here, then the thing will work. So until then, the object is already out of the window. So what we have to do is the axis position plus the game ball dot get global bound. So we want the boundaries of the height. In this case, nope, it's the width. And because it's not actually the position of x, because the x position is already beyond 500, it should not make sense. It should be velocity dot x, right? Because it's the velocity minus, so the velocity has already been traveled, that we don't want it to travel again, if you know what I am saying, right? So in theory it should work if we change it to -1. That was another problem. So let's see if this time it works or not. And it still does not work, so there is some kind of bug in here. So let me just, so what if we say this, let's just now try whatever our heart desires, right? Because this is our game and we can just do whatever we want. So it does not work, and then we have to see what we have done wrong. It shouldn't be height, because height is supposed to be for the y-axis, right? And it should change it, the x to minus, not 11, -1. Yep, now it should set it to its get position to its my position, and 500 minus, and oh sorry yep, they get global bound. It should count it's this one too, right? That's how it should work. Is this what was wrong? I actually have no idea what is wrong with this one. Yep, it did actually. Yep, it is coming back, but not the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's really glitchy, and I have no idea why it's so glitchy. So what we wanted it to do, it did do that. I don't want any control on this right now. So if it's less than 0, then we should set it to 0, and we should change the velocity to -1, and we don't want to interfere with that anymore, because the velocity of y should still stay the same, right, man? It should not change. And so I'll troubleshoot a bit, then inform what happens and what happened wrong, right? I'm a newbie, so please don't judge me. So I have found a couple of problems. One of them is this should be minus, because it should be inside, not outside, because the ball is already outside. And then I just changed the ratio of this thing, because I do not like that ratio, and still I don't know if it will work or not, because I have just no idea why it is not working. But I will find it out soon enough, because I'm also not using the y position yet, because it doesn't seem necessary enough. Because if one of these work, you see the ball goes through, it comes back. This side is working. Yo, wait, please wait. Yup, sometimes it is working, sometimes it is not. So let's just do one thing. Window dot set frame rate limit to 75u. Is this some sort of rendering issue? Because it did seem to work for a bit, and now it is really slow. So let's just take it to 5. It could be a frame rate issue, though I cannot tell, because I don't know what is happening. It is not a frame rate issue, but like, yeah, you see that bounces off perfectly. Yep, that bounces off perfectly too. Yep, it is working right now, like it should. Not perfectly because yep, it is working kind of good, but I have no idea why it isn't working for the first time. Is it because I've set some position? Yep, it stopped working right there and right here. So is there some sort of issue here because of I set the position like that? So let's just set it to 0, 0. What will happen then? Still, that's a mystery to be solved. I have no idea why, and I have to troubleshoot for a long night. And it seems to not be working. Is it some sort of clock issue? Like, I just don't get it right. It's in the while loop, and now I do get it. So kids, learn to code first, because it was in the event loop. Unless an event occurred, it wouldn't just work. And yep, it works perfectly. So it was my mistake all along, so we can continue just like how we were doing things. So it will be game ball dot get global bounds dot height this time, right? So game ball dot set position, it's gonna be 600.0f minus the game ball position, game ball dot get position, no, should be the velocity dot y, right? Velocity should be the velocity dot y minus our game ball dot get global bounds dot height. Yep, just that. But the thing is, shift F, because I didn't put the game ball dot get position dot x, and now it should resolve the issue. And now we can finally set it to 5 W and Q it, and it should be working right now if everything is correct. And it seems that our pong clone is working. When it bounces, it should bounce off. And that was actually the ball physics. That is how the ball is supposed to go from. Like, now we can just do it like that, but the main focus point is if that happens, you just froom it, right? And in the main game, if it does happen, you actually lose for the x coordinates. For the y coordinates, it will just bounce off. So this is a good start to our project, and that's all for today.